ExpressVPN is touted as the best VPN service provider by a lot of affiliate marketers. A lot of affiliate marketers usually mention the great result they get from speed tests like speedtest.net, as well as some of the recent independent audits that have been carried out on ExpressVPN servers by companies like KPMG. But does this mean that ExpressVPN is the best VPN service provider for your security needs, or should we be considering alternatives like NordVPN that are a little cheaper? Besides, how can you know that these incentives or these reviews are not incentivized by the great affiliate commissions that ExpressVPN usually pay out to affiliates? Well, in this review, this ExpressVPN review, we're going to look at the pros and cons of ExpressVPN in order to help us decide whether it's the best VPN for your security needs online or whether you should be considering some cheaper alternatives. So right off the bat, I'm not impressed by the user interface, and I'm going to explain why in a minute. So in order to connect to a server, we need to click on the three dots right here, which is going to open a new window. If you wanted to set anything in our VPN, like turn on the kill switch, again, we're going to click on options, and this is going to open in a new window. So before you realize, ExpressVPN is actually all over the place, covering the entirety of the screen, which blocks you from actually accessing what's going on behind the screen. So most of the time you're going to be running your VPN while you're also doing other things on your computer. So you don't want one app to just to be covering the entirety of the screen, which stops you from seeing what else is going on the screen. What's more is that usually when you open an app in Windows, you expect that once you open the first interface, any future apps, any future pages, any future screens are going to be reloaded within that container instead of having to be opened in a new window, just ending up loitering all over the place. But for some reason, ExpressVPN does not abide by this design standard. What's worse is that whenever you're connected to your server, you're going to click on these three dots right here, which is going to reveal the server list. So I'm going to click on United States right here, and you're going to realize that it doesn't connect until I double click. So this is contrary to what other VPN service providers are going to offer you, whereby once you click on the server, the name of the country or the location, the app is going to already start connecting you to the most available server, but for some reason I have to double click for me to be connected to a server, which means that's one more additional thing I need to do to connect to the server. I find that less than optimal. Alright, so let's look at the kind of speeds we're going to get with ExpressVPN. Remember, this is one of their best trends, this is one of their greatest features. If you read a lot of reviews online about ExpressVPN, you're going to see people who are actually going to praise ExpressVPN for being really fast. So we're going to see how fast they really are in this speed test. But before we get started, you want to know that you should always take speed tests with a lot of grain of salt, because there's a lot of factors that goes into speed tests. For example, the distance you are from that server, the current loads on that particular server, as well as the loads on your own personal network are going to affect the actual results you're going to get from this speed test. But regardless of the situation, you want to ensure you're able to keep at least 80% of your original connection speeds. That's how you're going to know if a VPN is actually really fast enough. So currently my internet is capped at 20 Mbps. So we're going to expect to keep at least 16 Mbps in order to decide whether ExpressVPN is really a fast enough VPN service provider for our needs. Alright, so as you can see right here, we have 17.38, which way over 90% of our original connection speeds, or close to 90% of our original connection speed. So we can see that ExpressVPN is really a fast VPN. But this is not something to write home about, because I get similar speed tests whenever I run my speed tests with other VPN providers like NordVPN or even Surfshark VPN. Alright, so let's look at what we're going to get in terms of our server collection. So currently ExpressVPN has over 3,000 servers that are located in 94 different countries. So again, while the total server count is not anything to write home about, they're doing a great job in terms of spreading out their servers. And as you can see right here in the map, there are a lot of servers in South America, servers in Africa, and servers in Asia. Remember, alternatives like NordVPN or even Surfshark usually concentrate their servers in North America and Europe. So you're going to get more options with ExpressVPN if you're looking for servers in these other countries to connect to. Remember, the closer you are to the server, the better you will be able to get, the faster the speeds you're going to get. The fact that their servers are also spread out in many countries means that you're going to get a lot of options when it comes to unblocking content on popular streaming platforms. Remember, popular streaming platforms like Netflix are going to restrict your content based on your geographical location. So if you wanted to be able to unblock content, Netflix content libraries in different countries, for example, in the United States or even Germany, Japan, or even other streaming platforms like HBO Go or even Amazon Prime, you'll be able to do so with a lot of ease using ExpressVPN because they have some of the best IPs for bypassing these content restrictions. So apart from that, you're also going to find that you're able to get a kill switch, but the kill switch is not going to perform great, as I'm going to show you in a moment. So if you're going to use it, for example, to do some kind of P2P file sharing, I don't recommend you use ExpressVPN because of this reason here. So once I bring up the settings right there, you're going to realize that there's only one option for the kill switch. As you can see right here, stop all internet traffic if the VPN disconnects unexpectedly. So this is going to leave you in a situation of not knowing what could happen. For example, if your torrenting client is running in the background and you're not aware, remember, you want to ensure that you're always anonymous on these torrenting servers in order to increase your security, because if you're doing any kind of P2P file sharing in a country that completely outlaws torrenting, or you're caught torrenting any kind of copyrighted material, then you could be in trouble with the authorities. So you want to ensure that before you connect to any torrenting server, first of all, you must your real IP address, and then you ensure your kill switch is on. But if you were to disconnect the kill switch for disconnect from the server for whatever reason, NordVPN is not going to protect you even if the kill switch is on. So I'm just going to show you what that means. So I'm going to disconnect from the server. I'm going to bring back our browser, and I'm just going to reload this page right here. As you can see, we're still able to reload the page despite the fact that our kill switch is turned on. So this could actually work against you if you're going to use it for P2P file sharing. So I don't recommend that you use NordVPN for any kind of torrenting activities. What's another disappointing factor is the fact that actually an ad blocker is conspicuously missing. So if you look at this website here that we're accessing right now, there's a lot of ads that are running left, right, and center. There's been a lot of issues with advertisements in terms of your security, in terms of safety, in terms of privacy, because they're constantly trying to for example, get your data online. They install scripts on your computer that they use to track you online. They're also going to be consistently downloading content over the network, for example, videos or even audio or even images that are going to exhaust your internet. So if you're accessing the internet, for example, from a mirrored bandwidth, you're quickly going to run out of bandwidth, which is going to make it hard for you to continue to access the internet. But for some reason, ExpressVPN decides not to provide any kind of ad blocker at all. So even if you're going to be reading an article on Forbes, you're going to be harassed left, right, and center with these advertisements. As you can see right here, more than half of the screen has been occupied by advertisement, which leads to a very poor user experience. You're also not going to get some obfuscated servers that you can use to access the internet in more internet-restricted countries like China, or even Iran or Russia. So ExpressVPN says that they're able to bypass the internet in these countries, but without these obfuscated servers, it's hard to believe that is going to be the case, because I don't see it listed as one of the best VPNs for example, bypassing the Great Firewall of China. What's worse is that you also don't get a dedicated IP address. Remember, you're going to be using these shared IP addresses right here. Since these servers are shared, the probability that we're going to find that one of the IP addresses has been abused and therefore is already in one of the blacklists is very high. So it's a great standard for some great VPN service provider recently to be providing dedicated IP addresses that you can actually connect to just your account to ensure you're able to still ensure you access the internet securely by using your own IP address. Remember, even though the dedicated IP addresses are a little less secure because the IP address is tied to your account, you're going to need a dedicated IP address. For example, if you want to access your work network remotely, or if you want to access your home security camera feed, or you want to be able to securely access your online banking platform, something you're not going to be able to do with these shared IP addresses. But for some reason, again, ExpressVPN does not provide this feature. Alright, so what's also annoying is the fact that getting the ExpressVPN pricing is always more of a detective work. So one would expect that once you go to the home page, you're going to see some page somewhere written pricing where you can click and go check out what prices are, what they're charging for their services. But for some reason, ExpressVPN does not provide this feature at all. In fact, you might think it is right here where you're going to click on Get ExpressVPN and get to the order page. But if you click, as you're about to see, we're going to be sent to the sign-in page. So one would wonder why you'd want to go to the signing page if you just arrive here and you're trying to get to know how much this VPN costs. It beats logic actually. Because as for signing up, it's common understanding that you're going to look for a sign-in button usually at the top right corner, somewhere here where you can log in, or simply click on my account right here to go and log in. So then why would we have to go to the login page when we were looking for the pricing, which is extremely annoying. However, I was able to get this page. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, which is one of the, again, another annoying thing. As you can see right here, their pricing is extremely prohibitive. So even though you're getting a discount on the first year, where you're supposed to pay $12.95, you're going to end up paying $8.32. But again, this is going to total up $100 for the first year. Now, this is extremely prohibitive, considering $100 can give you more than 2 years of a subscription with NordVPN and still get you some pocket change. But if you still have to get ExpressVPN, check the link in the description below where you can get it for a really great discount. I managed to get you some special discount in order to save you some money upfront, because you don't need to spend that much when getting a VPN service provider. Alright, so apart from pricing, you're also going to realize that you only have an option of up to 5 devices. Again, this is the lowest in the industry. The industry standard is around 5, 6, 7, all the way to 10, and some VPN providers like IPVanish or even Surfshark are going to offer you unlimited connected devices. But again, ExpressVPN is offering what is considered the lowest in the industry standard, while charging premium prices. So again, I'm not convinced that this is really a great deal, considering you're able to get similar features, similar services with a cheaper VPN service provider like NordVPN, and still just be able to be fine. Alright, so let's look at what we're going to expect in terms of their privacy policy. Alright, so according to they have a very long privacy policy. Actually, ExpressVPN do keep some logs, as I was able to find out, but it's not clear the kind of logs they're keeping because the document is too long. There's just too much going on. But a recent independent audit that was carried out by KPMG on ExpressVPN servers in September 2022 confirmed that there are actually no logs that can be used to identify you. Alright, but there are logs actually on the servers. If you read it clearly or keenly through the fine print, you're going to realize they're keeping logs. So it's something that's neither here nor there. I won't be too confident about this. So again, I would prefer a shorter privacy policy that explains clearly what logs are being kept and what logs are not being kept, instead of using all this jargon, which is just a little confusing to someone who's just getting started with VPNs or just privacy online. Alright, so apart from that, you're also going to find that they're doing a great job in terms of providing apps for different platforms. You're going to be able to use them. Just download, configure Mac, configure Windows, configure Android, as well as configure your router. So if you're going to be connecting a lot of devices, I suggest you configure it on your router so that you're able to connect more devices, because 5 devices is just so limiting, considering most of the time you're going to be connecting much more devices, because you have your mobile devices, your work devices, your desktop computer, and your family members. So again, remember that if you want a great discount, check the link in the description below. So once you get your subscription with ExpressVPN, you're definitely going to want to know how to configure it so that you can make the most of your security features. So I've done a separate video where I take you through how to set up ExpressVPN for the first time. So be sure to check out that video. The link is going to appear somewhere on the screen right now. If you like this video, if you find it useful in any way, please smash the like button. It motivates me to create similar content in the future, teaching you about cybersecurity and safety online.